Let me guess. You use SUMIFS for every summary table. What if I told you Excel has a modern function that replaces it all? GROUPBY. And once you see it, you might never build summary tables the old way again. Let's get efficient. We are planning next week's workload for the team. Each row is a task assigned to an employee. Let's start simple. How many hours is each person handling? The classic way? 2 steps. UNIQUE to list distinct employee names. Then SUMIF to total the hours, and drag it down. It works but takes multiple steps. With modern Excel, we can replace all of that with just one formula. GROUPBY. Think of it like a lightweight formula-based pivot table. GROUPBY groups rows and aggregates values. We tell Excel 3 things. What to group? That's our employee column. Then what to total? That's the estimated hours column. And how to aggregate. Sum in our case. Just like that, we have our summary table. Automatically grouped, totaled, and sorted. Even if the employee names are scattered all over the dataset, GROUPBY still puts them together correctly. And right away, we spot a workload issue. We expect around 40 hours per person. 5 employees, that's 200 hours. The total is correct, but the distribution isn't. Alice is sitting high at 62 hours, while Adam is way under. Let's rebalance the workload. Reduce one task, say 20 hours from Alice. The summary updates instantly. Assign those 20 hours to Adam. Nothing happens. That's because we used a fixed range, rows 2 to 21. Switch to full column references. Problem solved. Now, when the dataset grows, the summary goes with it. But that introduced another issue, actual blank rows. So we add a dot operator to trim it. If you haven't seen this trick before, I've linked a deep dive in the card. Now the summary stays dynamic and clean. One formula, a full summary table, and a much more balanced workload. Now you might be thinking, okay, this replaces SUMIF. But how often do summaries stop at just one condition? So the question becomes, can GROUPBY also replace SUMIFs? And the answer is yes. So now we want to know, how much high complexity work is each person handling? The normal SUMIFs approach and the new GROUPBY approach. We still group by employee. Think of it like this. For each person, GROUPBY is already doing the equivalent of SUMIF employee equals Alice, Bob, Charlie, and so on. So that first condition, matching the employee, is handled behind the scene. Everything else stays the same. We just add our second condition in the filter array argument. Only include rows where task complexity is high, and hit enter. The summary now has parts of the picture. What if we want to see both conditions in the table? Easy. We can simply expand the rows field argument to include the task complexity column, and the result spills properly. Table expanded, but the manual headers no longer match. Well, GROUPBY fixed that too. In the field's header argument, choose 3, yes and show to display a dynamic header row that stays in sync with our data. Now this gives a very different view. Some employees look balanced before, but one person is actually carrying most of the complex work. Okay, let's level it up. Complexity isn't the only pressure. Urgency matters just as much. So the question is now, how many hours is each employee handling that are either complex or due soon? This is where SUMIFs get messy. But with GROUPBY, we simply combine conditions inside the filter array. Wrap the high complexity condition in brackets, then connect it to the second condition, due within 5 days. Also wrap in brackets. That plus sign acts as OR logic here. Then we can expand rows field all the way for a full breakdown view. The table is more detailed, but also harder to read at a glance. We got 2 ways to simplify it. add subtotals using the total depth argument to roll things up, or build a condensed summary table on the side, using the same formula with the same conditions, but grouping only by employee. And look at the story this tells. David is heavily loaded with high complexity work. Charlie is picking up more of the urgent short deadline tasks, while other team members have a more balanced mix. Both David and Charlie are busy, but in a very different way. That's something a simple total would rarely reveal. Not all hours are equal. So in just a few steps, GROUPBY replaced an entire summary workflow, and we only begin to unlock what it can do. This single function can potentially stand in for other Excel functions you rely on today, like SUMIFS, lookup, or pivots. Not all hours are equal, and now neither are your formulas. Drop a comment if you want the sample file, and subscribe for more Excel deep dives. I'm Kiki, and I will see you in the next one.